And welcome here to Turf Moor for our fixtures announcements. As you can see, Turf Moor looking resplendent behind us. A lot of changes going on behind the scenes. And at times like this, I'm always reminded of what Sean Dyche says, which is that when the fixtures come out, you've got to play them all twice. But it's the order that you play them in that's the important thing. And that's what we're going to talk through now with a special guest, Paul Weller. Paul, welcome to Turf Moor. Welcome back to Turf Moor, I should say.
Good to be back.
Paul, let's look at the fixtures. A nice one for you to start with. Your hometown, Brighton, back here at Turf Moor on the opening day.
Yeah, it's a fantastic fixture to start the game, start the season with. It's a team that's going to be in and around us, and 3 points is very winnable. So for me, I think it's a great fixture, a great start to the season.
Yeah, in some ways it puts the pressure on because you want to get that win to get yourself up and running. If you don't get it, it's an easy game gone. But you want an easy game rather than a hard game, don't you?
Absolutely. There's pressure, whoever you play at home. There's always going to be the expectations at home to get those 3 points. And Brighton are going to want to come and not lose the game. So it's a big battle, but it's very winnable, which is more important.
Yeah, I'll have the caveat easier, not easy, because there's no easy games at this level. It then does get a little bit tougher. Our first two away games, Everton and Liverpool. Well, Liverpool and Everton first. I mean, that's the Merseyside double from last season.
Well, we found Liverpool easy last year, didn't we? So
we broke them. We broke Liverpool.
Exactly. We ruined their season. So we'll go there with confidence. Still a tough game. But for me, I think playing the bigger boys early on in the season, especially after the Euros, the hangover maybe, people coming back from holidays, I think it's a good opportunity to play a top team early on and hopefully catch them, unawares.
Before they get into the full stride.
Absolutely.
Leeds United are here early doors, which will be a really tasty one. We may well, who knows, would have fans back in the stadium at the start of next season.
I think that's the key, isn't it? If we can get fans back in the stadium as soon as possible, get Turf Moor back to the fortress that it is. It's a horrible place to come and play, especially when you've got the crowd at you and in your face. I think it's really important because Leeds is a tough game. We saw that last year, a lot of quality, so a tough game again.
If we throw a blanket over the fixtures as a whole, we'll go drill down into the detail a little bit. You were telling me just before we came on now, you like the look of them. It's a nice sort of spread of easier, harder. There's no real glut of fixtures that you look at and go, oh, maybe apart from January, February, we'll come to that.
Yeah, it's a hard game then an easier game, a hard game then easier. So when you take over the last few years, we've taken a bit of a beating at Manchester City, for example. We've then got an easier game to bounce back. It's not a run of games where you think, oh no, that's just a horrible bunch of fixtures. So I think Sean will be really pleased with these fixtures. Very winnable games early on, especially leading up to Christmas. A nice balance, and I think the fans will be happy too.
Those home games that Paul alludes to, the first 5 home games, Brighton, Leeds, Arsenal, then the 2 promoted sides, Norwich and Brentford, then Crystal Palace. So you're right, it does give us a nice little, hopefully, a foundation to build from back here.
Yeah, that's right. And in between all that, some tougher away games. So a good balance, but still very hard games to win.
We touched on the hard bits. We looked at January and February and winced a little bit when we saw that. There's a few gaps in the schedule because of the Cup, which kicks in January. But when you look at that fixture list from December the 28th onwards, Man United away, Leeds away, Leicester at home, Arsenal away, Man United and Liverpool at home in 5 days here. That's a really tough run of fixtures.
Very tough. But that's what we're in the Premier League for, isn't it? We expect those tough games. Every game is hard, Sean will say. So he'll just take it on the chin. And hopefully, by the time we play those games, we'll have plenty of points on the board and we'll go into those games in a comfortable position.
We hope so. Opening days are always special. As you said, we hopefully will get fans back here at Turf Moor for the opening day. Who knows? That depends on the government. But right now, we want to take you back and look at some of those opening day goals. Here's a montage of our opening day fixtures.
Hooks it down this right-hand side. Great ball for Roach. You might fancy a dip here. Does have a shot. Lee Roach has got his first goal for Burnley. What an effort from 25 yards. Right-footed, got deflected, went past Matt Clark. Here's Patterson. Helps it on to Elliott. Busting away here, Elliott. He'll get to the edge of the box. Looks to get a cross in. Iwelumo! 1-0. Burnley have the lead. And it's Chris Iwelumo. His first for Burnley. And what a good finish. What a good counter-attack. Nazy up against Elliott. Elliott closed him down well there. Helps Sinclair win the next ball. Here's Jones. The fancy a crack here, left footed. Oh, what a goal! What a debut! Steve Jones has scored an absolute corker. Left footed, top corner. Burnley, trying to help it on towards Ward. He'll break into the box here, Stephen Ward. Oh, what a goal! Oh, what a goal from Stephen Ward! Champions Chelsea 0, Burnley 2, and Stephen Ward has got a goal of the season contender on the opening day.
A few memorable goals there from the opening day, and particularly the ones at Chelsea, both at home here, Scotty Arfield's strike, and then that incredible win on the opening day at Chelsea a few years ago. It's not just the opening day, because we had opening goals here on the opening home game of the season, which I think would take you back to 2000, Paul, when you didn't have those little grey locks that I've got now on the side. That's going back a little while, but you scored here against Wimbledon on the opening home game of that season. That was our second game back in the second tier of English football after that promotion, of course. But we got your goal here. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was well, it was a great moment because it's the first goal I scored in quite a while. But yeah, picked it up on the halfway line, ran a long way with the ball, got into the box and didn't really know what to do. I'm not a natural finisher, but managed to get the ball out of my feet and score a goal.
It's a 50-yard run, mate. You don't underestimate that.
Well, it's my favourite goal. I didn't score many for Burnley, but it's definitely my favourite because I've been out for a couple of years with the illness. And to get back into the team, first game at home in the Championship was a special moment.
Optimism's always high on the opening day, isn't it? Whether you're at home or away, all teams are on a level slate. It doesn't matter what's happening in the summer, what's happened the previous season. Everybody goes into the new season dying for the season to start and kick off.
They go in there very nervous, don't want to lose. It's all that hustle and bustle again. But the pressure on the players in that first game is really, really intense. I remember being at Bolton the game before that, Wimbledon won, and we just didn't want to lose. We didn't want to start the season. I know you don't look at the table early on, but players do. You don't want to start at the bottom. So it's really, really important that you get off to a good start, don't lose, get a point, get maybe 3 points, and breathe, and then that's when your season sort of cracks on.
Okay, let's drill into the detail then. We talked about the fixtures, we talked about the start. Brighton, Liverpool, Leeds is the August schedule. That's not the worst in some way. 2 home games to start with.
Yeah, very, very winnable home games. We know what Burnley's like at home. When the crowd are back in, very, very good at home. So I'm really happy with them. Good start against Brighton. We'll really get everybody breathing, relaxing and go and enjoy the Liverpool game. So as August looks, I think it's a good start.
And then September, Everton away, Arsenal home, Leicester away. That looks a little bit tougher, I think.
Yeah, on paper, very, very difficult. But again, we've proved what we can do away from home. We've really worked out what needs to be done when we go on the travels in the Premier League. We've been to Liverpool, we've been to Everton, and we've put on some great performances. So on paper, tough, but I think Sean will still be very happy with them.
In golfing terms, the third day is moving day. I think the third month back, moving month for Burnley. You've got Norwich at home, Brentford at home, Man City away. Let's forget that one. We can cancel that one to start with. And then Southampton away. It's not the toughest of games in there.
No, that's a good month, especially after a tricky sort of September. It's the 2 home games that are the most important ones. We've got to be beating the likes of your Norwiches and Brentfords. When Norwich came up a couple of seasons ago, we were fantastic against them. We put them under a lot of pressure. We bullied them, and if we can do that again, that'll be fantastic because lots of points available in that month, and I think we'll pick up a lot.
Capital punishment, maybe. Hark back to past days in November. Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Tottenham make up 3 of the 4 fixtures in November. That looks like a real mixed bag of fixtures there. Wolves finishing it off.
It is. I think it's a mixed bag for quite a few months where you come up against the likes of Tottenham and Chelsea. They're going to be difficult games, but games that we could still nick a point here and there. But then you've got the winnable games in amongst it all. So that's why I think it's really good that we're playing some tough teams and then the easier teams. And again, Sean will be very happy going into November, I think.
And then December is always a busy month. It always seems to be the busiest month of the year. I think we've got 6 Premier League fixtures planned in there. Starting with Newcastle away, then West Ham and Watford at home. Aston Villa, Everton, Manchester United finish it off. So maybe that month starts easier than finishes.
Yeah, it definitely does, and it's a real test of your squad then, isn't it, when you still get a lot of games in close proximity. So it's a real test of the squad and a real challenge. But very winnable games again, though. Newcastle, West Ham and Watford. We should be picking up a lot of points there. But come Christmas, come that Boxing Day game onwards from there, it starts to get a bit trickier.
You look at the fixtures, it's crazy how they split sometimes. 3 fixtures in August and September, only 4 in November, then 6 in December. There's a real sort of mixed bag of what you're playing a week, then you're a week off. The international breaks kick in, of course, so you can't get momentum going perhaps. Once you get towards December, then it really sort of motors then till March.
It does, yeah. It kicks on. That Christmas period is a real tricky one, isn't it? Like I say, that test of that squad. But that's what the fans want. They want those games around Christmas. We look forward to the Boxing Day games. Boxing Day at home to Everton is a real. I love that game. That lovely little fixture there at home, and to finish off the start of the new year away at Leeds is a good one as well. So I like the Christmas period as a fan now. It's really enjoyable. You can go to the game with your mates, and hopefully, barring COVID restrictions, we can enjoy Christmas and some good points.
Yeah, well, I hope so, because as we mentioned, January and February doesn't get much easier. Once we get into Leeds, Leicester, Arsenal, which is January, that could give you a real tough start to the year. Then you've got Man United, Liverpool to start February. I mean, it ends with Brighton and Palace, so there is a light at the end of that tunnel, but you've got to get through January and February, I think, haven't you?
Yeah, you have to. Hopefully, though, with those fixtures being a little bit easier leading up to Christmas, we've had plenty of points on the board, and the team will go into those fixtures with, in a nice position, mid-table, hopefully in the top half, and we'll be in a comfortable position. But they are tough games. Leeds away is a tough game. Leicester and Arsenal, we've seen over the years, they're battles. We've had our battles with Arsenal home and away over the years, so they're really tricky. But they're the fixtures that the fans will want to see. Leicester at home, Manchester United at home, Liverpool at home. They're big occasions, and they're what the fans look forward to.
And by the time we get to February next year, you're right, we could have full houses back in here with a bit of luck. So that would help. New ground to go to this year, Brentford. We have to wait till March the 12th to go to Brentford, but that looks like an interesting one.
It does, yeah. Very good footballing team. They've been knocking on the door for a few years to get up to the Premier League. Now they've got their opportunity, so it'll be intriguing to see how they spend their money, reinvest and improve their side. But I think, I've always said the teams that come up from the Championship are always nice sides to play. They're not ready streetwise for the Premier League yet, and to come up against the Burnley side, like Burnley have shown over the years, we've bullied teams like Norwich, Fulham's, and hopefully we can do the same again against Brentford.
I'm always reminded of Phil Bird when he gets to the end of the season, because he always looks at it and goes, I like the ending. Every year he says that, no matter who we're playing. But that April and May schedule doesn't look the worst. We get Man City at home out the way early in April. Then the next sort of 5 after that, Norwich, West Ham, Wolves, Watford, Villa, before we end with Tottenham and Newcastle. That, to me, doesn't look the worst ending.
No, not at all. A few of them are on the road, aren't they? So they're always tough away from home. But again, Norwich, away from home, we should be really confident going into that. But it all depends how the start of April happens, doesn't it? Manchester City at home, tough game. But that running after that is very winnable, and like I say, hopefully lots of points on the board.
Well, if you've got the points on the board by the time you get to that, you're looking to where you can finish in the table. If you haven't, at least you know you've got hopefully a safety net to get the points on the board that you need.
That's right. After a tough run that you mentioned in January and February, you don't know what the state of play is going to be. So it's really important that we finish the season well. We know every point is important in the Premier League. So, like you say, it's a very good end to the season.
Good. Thanks for joining us, Paul. Before we go, I've got a little satellite here. Paul has a book out, which we need to promote. Not Such a Bad Life. It's memories of his time here at Burnley. Good stories in there of Gazza, Wrighty, Chris Waddle. Tell us about this. How did this come about, Paul?
Well, I used to see Dave Thomas quite a lot. I think everyone knows Dave Thomas. He's written many books about Burnley, and the opportunity to put my 12 and a half years into a book, I just couldn't say no. So, I spent a lot of time with Dave talking about those 12 years and trying to rejig the memories. But I've, such good tales, good memories of being here. Roller coaster times under Mullen, Heath, Waddle, 6 years of Stan, some great players that I played with. It's just been a good time to put it together, and now I've been able to sell a few and raise a little bit of money for Parky, which was a big incentive for me. I want to try and help out Gary Parkinson. He needs some pennies right now. He's 11 years he's been into lockdown, and it's little things like his vehicles just started to fail on him. So I'm trying to raise some money. It's really important to me. I've started off, people, if they buy it off me, I get the book at cost price. So if they buy it off me, anything above the cost price goes to Parky. So I'm trying to do a little bit for him. We're going to be doing some sponsored events over the next year or two to try and help out, because it's difficult for him.
Fantastic. I mean, a worthy cause as well. And that's available through the club shop. But also, if you want to get direct through Paul, contact him. He's available on social media. He'll certainly help you out there. Or you can pop into his garage. Is it over in Colne?
Yeah. Feel free. Come on.
Listen, before we go, I need to remind you that as the Premier League season is about to start, we want people to register their interest for our match-related hospitality and sponsorship packages. These are available now. We'd love to have done that in person, of course, but of course in COVID times, we're going virtual on that one. You can visit go.burnleyfc.com/fixtures inquiry to register your interest. And before we leave, a final reminder that the fans can now download the actual fixtures as an eCal to their phone. That's available through the Burnley website. Links are on the website to do that. Paul, it's been a pleasure meeting you. Thank you very much. It all kicks off here in just over another 2 months' time. Can't wait, can we?
Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Brilliant. Thanks for joining us at Turf Moor. We'll see you soon.
Hooks it down this right-hand side. Great ball for Roach. You might fancy a dippy. He does have a shot. Lee Roach has got his first goal for Burnley. What an effort from 25 yards. Right-footed, got deflected, went past Matt Clark. Here's Patterson. Helps it on to Elliott. Busting away here, Elliott. He'll get to the edge of the box. Looks to get across it. Iwalumo! 1-0. Burnley have the lead. And it's Chris Iwalumo. His first for Burnley. And what a good finish. What a good counter-attack. Maisie up against Elliott. Elliott closed him down well there. Helps Sinclair win the next ball. Here's Jones. The fancy crack here, left footed. Oh, what a goal! What a debut! Steve Jones has scored an absolute corker. Left footed, top corner. Trying to help it on towards Ward. He'll break into the box here, Stephen Ward. Oh, what a goal! Oh, what a goal from Stephen Ward! Champions Chelsea 0, Burnley 2, and Stephen Ward has got a goal of the season contender on the opening day.